How about the Stomper case with the little cars in it?
Is there any cars in there?
There's a few in it.
If you want it, fine. If you don't,
I'll do it all for 20. That's cool.
okay.
I'm not a cheapskate. You don't have any comic books or like any more records or anything, do you?
I got some comic books in there.
Do you?
Pretty decent ones.
Are they?
This was definitely one of my favorite single days of picking ever.
Froggy flips.
This is sold on eBay, not what people are asking. This is what they actually sold for. So, yeah, that I just know. I can't do it, man. I honestly don't really want to sell them. I just don't want every stuff that I don't really want to sell. Small stuff. Cool, man. You grab sales. Yeah, yeah. You can clean them up. Oh yeah, and I thought about it. People are really don't, and I've always looked like don't clean anything unless you're going to find out. If you're going to own it, clean it. But if you're not, if there's any chance you're going to resell it, don't do it because people like they like that patina that kangaroo. Yeah. I get it, man. Honestly, it's a great buy.
I do buy and resell.
Yeah, I do too. We all do.
Me. Some of them come. I do know about it.
How much you have on the RC stuff right here?
Those are 10 apiece.
10 a piece?
Yep.
How much are the horns?
I do 15.
They run off 12 volt?
Yeah, we can find, and you can. I've got a battery in there if you want to hear them let go. My neighbors probably wouldn't appreciate it.
Yeah, that guy's mowing his grass, but he's using an electric mower.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
What about this? Come on.
So, 3.
How about the Stomper case with the little cars in it?
Is there any cars in there?
There's a few in it.
Oh, I do 5.
5, sure.
What, 8-track?
Yeah. I don't think you can start cleaning it. I'm not sure.
I don't know what it is, but it's cool.
It's $3.
$3. Look at him, man. You work for Salesforce?
No, they work for us too. I've been at Lilly for 25 years.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
I work for Horner.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're over there with you guys. all
I
the
know
time.
you are.
They're always calling.
What do you have on the box of mad stuff?
Oh, I'll tell you that there was another, just so you know, I pulled one of the kind of the cool things out of
Oh,
it.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, all this.
I'd take 20 for the box. This by itself sells for about 35, 40. So
Okay.
That's, if you want it, fine. If you don't, I'll tell you what, I would keep this and sell the rest of it for 15.
I'll do it all for 20. That's cool.
Okay. It's a good deal.
I'm not a cheapskate.
No, you gotta get a good deal though, man.
Oh, man, we're good. 20 is awesome.
Yeah, it is. A lot of people wouldn't understand that though.
And then what about the Ouija board?
$5.
Okay. We're bundling, man. We're
3.
bundling.
3?
We're bundling.
Yep. I mean, there ain't even no room for people to park.
How's Froggy today?
I'm not bad, man. How are you?
We're doing great, man. It's been a good weekend.
This is a good sale to start on.
Yeah.
What's that?
Been a good
I didn't have anybody know.
Are those your piles? Here.
No, this is mine right here. Yeah.
Here,
Try to keep it out of the way.
I can help you. Come on.
Where should I stack this stuff up?
Oh, you just put it
So
right
it's out of
there
your
on
way.
the-
Okay.
I just went to AT&T. This is
You don't have any comic books or like any more records or anything, do you?
I got some comic books in there.
Do you?
Yeah, they're pretty decent ones.
Are they?
I'll show you.
Okay.
Well, not a bunch, but just particular ones.
Okay.
Here's the,
Oh, this is comics. Thank you.
Here.
Oh, awesome. What do you have on these?
I do 50 for all of them, and I tell you, that's about a fourth of solds on all of them. Not asking, that's about a fourth of the solds on every, and they're all mint. They've been locked away for, I've owned them for 4 years, and I got, the guy I got them off of, everything was, all of his stuff was just like that.
Number 20 in that condition, I think that's probably worth at least 50, so yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, it's, like I'm saying, that's a quarter, I priced them at a quarter of what the sold for all of them was.
Yep, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
And then what about this low case cars?
I'd do 20 on those.
Okay, so I'm at 48, 98, 118. Okay, I'm good. And then I also had one little thing over here. I mean, feel free to recount everything, but I'm at 118, and then I added that just because I thought it was cool.
Yeah, it is.
Just because it's Shogun.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, you bought a lot, do 120.
120, cool. I like it, man, thank you.
Yeah.
20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20.
All right.
Awesome, buddy. Appreciate it, man. Take care.
Dude, big fan.
Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate that. What's your name?
Kurt,
Kurt, nice to meet you.
nice to meet you.
All right, I
There we
got
go.
you. All right.
Awesome, man. Take care. Thank you for the deal.
Well, we just left a really great yard sale, so we'll get home soon and check out some of this stuff. I think 120 was a great deal for what we got, and there's still all those magazines to look through. That was pretty much the only sale that actually looked appealing to me today, so I thought on the way home that we would stop here at my favorite little antique mall that has my favorite little booth in it. Jimbo, the guy that runs it, posted in his Facebook group yesterday some pretty cool little things that you don't see very often that he put in his booth yesterday. Hopefully they're still here. I'm gonna go check the prices of them. I figured that we just finish up here and then get home and take a look at everything. Go inside, head right downstairs. Vintage Kenner fast ones. Let's take a look at that. So as you can see, he just always has just about the coolest stuff. I came in for these right here, these masks. The Hordak is especially rare, but Skeletor is worth a good bit as well. If you spend $500, you get 30% off. So basically, if you spend 500 bucks, you get it for $350, which is a really good deal, especially because a lot of these prices are spot on or even under what they're worth. I think I may actually pass on the costumes right now just because the boxes aren't perfect, and I think that I would tear them up even more, and I just don't want to do that. But I did spot a couple other things, and I think I'm going to be able to make it to that 500 mark. I also have a couple things upstairs that I'll show you when I get home. They're part of a different booth. But I'm going to make my selections, pay up, and then we'll get home and take a look at everything we picked up today. All right, so we ended up spending $405 in there, which, as you will soon see, is a steal. That was out the door, tax and everything, and the stuff from the other booth. All right, let's get home and take a look at all this awesome stuff. And we finally made it back. This may sound like a big statement. It may seem like hyperbole, but honestly, this was definitely one of my favorite single days of picking ever. It was only 2 stops, a yard sale and a local antique mall, but just the quality of stuff and the variety of stuff I found made for a really great day. And then once I got home and really started digging into everything, I was met with quite a few pleasant surprises. So real quick, let's take a look at everything. All right, so first of all, we'll start off with the stuff from the antique mall. Quickly, I think it's important to note, just in case you're new to the channel, I'm not really out there hunting for the eBay quick flips. If I was, things would look a lot different. I'd be picking up every dollar copy of Wii Sports I find. I'd be scouting out every sale that mentions Department 56. And there's nothing wrong with any of that. At the end of the day, you make a lot more money on the reselling side of things. But I personally am much more interested in investing in the harder to find, just cool, interesting pop culture collectibles. I try to show comps as much as possible because sometimes people like to see potential market value, but it can be difficult conveying accurate potential value using nothing more than the last 90 days of eBay comps. But I just really enjoy the hunt. I enjoy the research. I enjoy speculating on market value. So I do the best I can. Anyway, for this haul here, I paid $405 out the door. Before tax, it was $378.50. And that would definitely be considered paying up, but I still think it was a strong deal. Right over here, I paid $4.50 for this Drop Dead horror record. Just thought it was really cool. It was on a table by the cash register, kind of in their Halloween section. I definitely love the cover artwork. This thing comps out about 15 to 20 bucks. Grabbed another record. This is Everything Will Be Alright in the End by Weezer. 2014, double album with insert, near mint condition. Paid $19.60. This thing comps out between 50 and 80 bucks. Great deal on that. And then the last record I got is a 2013 pressing of Public Enemy's It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back with the lenticular cover. Paid $15.40 for that. I think it comps out somewhere between like 25 and 30. But I thought it was very cool and I wanted it for my record collection. This is very cool. This was also upstairs. An autographed Elvira picture. Unfortunately, it's made out to Joe, but still very cool that she signed it. No sort of like provenance or anything like that. Signature tends to match known examples of her signature. In fact, there's a printed on one right there. Matches pretty well. I have no doubt she actually signed this to this fella Joe up here. Paid $13.50 for that, and it's going to go right on the wall. Got 3 packs of these vintage Topps Voltron tattoos. Not a lot of value in these. I think for all 3 packs, I paid $10.50. This was just me trying to get to that $500 mark so I could get the 30% off. Anything Voltron is really neat in my opinion. I think these comp out at like $5 to $7 a piece. We got the 1981 Mego Bo Duke 3 3/4 posable figure, mint on card. Paid $52.50 for this thing, which is definitely paying up a little bit. But the card and the bubble are both in very good shape. Normally when I see these old Dukes of Hazzard action figures, the bubble has yellowed like crazy, and this one is still very clear. It's probably one of the better examples I've ever seen in person. The card is nice and straight. No real damage to note anywhere. Just a very nice example. I think at the end of the day, to the right person, it's about $100. Probably the riskiest buy out of the whole thing was this AD&D figure, Young Male Titan, 1983. LJN, mint on card. Again, a very nice bubble. This one does have a little bit of card wear, but not bad at all. Like no major creases like throughout the middle or anything. Card on the back looks good. The artwork is nice and vibrant. The market seems to go up and down on these things. They're by no means a quick seller. I've seen them go for over $200. I've seen them go for well under $100. I think the proper value on something like this would be right around $150 in this condition. But the absolute best pickup from the antique mall is this Bondi godaikin Lazerion, I believe it's pronounced, from 1984. Vintage Japanese robots will always be collectible. And this is another one of those things that if you look at eBay comps right now, the only one that you're going to see sold for $190 recently. I ended up paying $175 for this guy right here. And the reason I still think it was such a great deal is because the condition on this one is miles above any other that I've seen in recent sold comps or actively listed. If we open it up, you can see that every single piece is accounted for. This thing might possibly be new old stock. It does not look like it's ever been removed. The missiles are unpunched. The pegs down there are unpunched. It doesn't look like the instructions have ever been pulled out. The sword is still taped in place, which makes it probably as close to near mint as you will ever find one of these. The last sold comp that I found that was anywhere near this condition was back in April of 2020. I found it on WorthPoint, and it sold for, I think, like $383. I'm sure that was on auction, and I'm guessing the price was driven by the condition. Like I said, definitely on par with this one. I think this is probably a $400 piece to the right person, obviously. Maybe the value will go up, who knows, but it was a fun little piece to invest in, and I'm glad I was able to pick it up. And then we come to the stuff that I picked up from the yard sale, and what an amazing yard sale it turned out to be. I paid $120 for everything, and this is definitely where all the surprises came in. At the antique mall, those were calculated risks. This was just me finding things that I thought were cool, getting a good deal on them, and later learning that pretty much everything had some pretty significant collectability. The only thing that I picked up that didn't have much value is this Shogun disc right here, the old floppy disk for the Commodore 64. Just thought it was really neat that it said Shogun on it. It's probably a $5 piece. Super cool guy running the sale. I asked him if he had any comics. He brought these 4 out. These were definitely the most expensive part of my pile at $50 for the 4 of them. First of all, we have Sophisticated Suspense Swamp Thing, number 39 and 40. These 2 are probably the least significant, so we won't really talk about those. But then we have the Saga of the Swamp Thing, number 20, and the Saga of the Swamp Thing, number 21. Number 20 is a key issue because it's the first time Alan Moore wrote for the series. I should have put them in brand new bags so you could really get an idea of the condition, but they are very nice. Very sharp corners, no creases. Everything looks really good on them. Pretty sure they would grade pretty high if I did decide to go that route. In this condition, I think that this could be valued somewhere in the $50 to $80 range, so very cool. Number 21, this is also a key because I think it basically tells the new origin of Swamp Thing written by Alan Moore. All the same notes on condition, but even like this, I think it could be valued pretty close to issue 20, somewhere in the $40, $50, $60, $70 range. Picked up this Ouija board, and in all honesty, I thought this was like from the 90s or something. Once I got it home, I realized that it didn't say Parker Brothers on it, so I started doing a little research, and it turns out that this is from 1939. This thing has been around for the better part of a century, so that's pretty incredible. Paid $3 for this. It does not have a box. I believe this is called the planchette. It's missing the little inner piece with the pin. From what I saw, it seems like that happens a lot. I'm sure they just fell out and broke and cracked over time. With the box, it would have a lot more value. Like this, I still think it's somewhere between like 60 and $100, which is pretty crazy. Not bad at all for $3. Next up, we have the vintage RC cars. These were $10 a piece. I thought they were really cool, so I threw them in the pile. I've bought stuff like this before. Half the time they're broken. Usually they're worth around like 20, 30, maybe $40 on a good day. Turns out that these 2 have a little more collectability than I was expecting. The Radio Shack Porsche, or Porsche 928, complete with the instructions. It still has the original bags, and it even has the original Radio Shack receipt from 1979. In 1979, brand new from the store, the price was $39.95, which seems like a lot for then. This one has definitely been used, even though it still has the bags. It's got a little bit of wear on it. The battery compartments are perfect on both the controller and the car itself. Has the antenna. Very nice shape. I think the only significant bit of damage is this window sticker here has a little piece taken out of it. The most recent sale I could track down sold for right around $50, so I think this should probably be somewhere in there. This one, on the other hand, the Shensi Firefox 1980, seems very, very collectible. As you can see, this one was purchased at Service Merchandise for $59.97, and that was on sale from $69.95. So that was a very expensive RC car back in 1979, 1980. Again, it has all the styrofoam. It has the instruction manual. Has the antenna for the radio control, and unlike the other car, this thing is absolutely mint condition. There's no dirt on the tires, there's no wear on the bottom, the battery compartments are perfect on the control and the car itself, no indication of label damage anywhere, the plastic is nice and shiny. I don't think this thing was ever run. I think this is probably as close to new old stock as you could ever find on this particular car. There are currently none on eBay. The most recent sold comp I found was for the silver version. It was an okay shape, but nothing like this. It sold on auction for like $73. Looking on WorthPoint, I've seen these sell over the years for as high as $200. I'm going to guess that this is at least $200, if not closer to $300. And like I said earlier, that's just speculation, but when it comes to these rare collectibles, condition definitely matters. I don't think it's going to be easy to find another one that looks like this. So very cool indeed. So glad I picked this up. And then we have the Diecast Cars. These, unlike the RC cars, are not in mint condition. These are well loved, well played with. And honestly, I normally pass up Diecast just because I don't have a huge interest in it myself. I originally picked these up because of the Stomper case. I thought the Stomper case was really cool, and I figured Stomper's so collectible that it had to have some value. It's probably a $20 or $25 case, which is actually what I have in all of these cars combined. I was going to leave behind the other cars, but then I figured, well, what if there's some redlines in there, or like what if there's some slot cars in there? So I went ahead and picked up that case for $20, and that is exactly what I found in there. These are just all cool vintage Hot Wheels. There's some Matchbox, a couple of Kidcos, but there's definitely some good stuff in here. Like I said, well loved, so not like top of the mark or anything. I'll try to give you a little bit of an overview, but I did find 2 slot cars and 4 redlines in there, which is just crazy. That's exactly what I want to find if I'm buying a lot of diecast. The 2 slot cars are in pretty close to mint condition. We have the McDonald's car here, and we have the Tide car. I believe this is made by Lifelike. This is made by Tyco, and they both comp somewhere between like $30 and $50 a piece. But I just think these redlines are so cool. If you were to look up comps on these in mint condition, you'd be looking at a couple $100 a piece. These are nowhere near that, but it's still very cool to find. And we have the Redline Poison Pinto right here. We have the Army Jeep. It does not have the gun on top. We have the Corvette Stingray. It has definitely seen better days, but look at those sweet, sweet red lines. And then we have the Sand Drifter with the cool flames on the hood and the trunk that opens. So I definitely bought these on a whim. I'm glad I did because I never thought there would actually be red lines and slot cars in there. Very cool. Glad I picked these up as well. And then what is most definitely my favorite part of the entire buy was this huge box of Mad magazines. I had no clue how many were actually in there. Paid 20 bucks for the entire box. Got them home, got them all bagged and boarded. Ended up with 35 different issues, all from the 1970s, as well as these 2 paperback book sets. Definitely not huge value in the issues themselves, but in my opinion, there's not much cooler than old Mad magazines. Some of the subject matter is just amazing. We have Star Trek, Happy Days, The Bionic Woman, Star Wars, Jaws, more Jaws, Saturday Night Fever, Grease, Rocky, Welcome Back Kotter, King Kong. Pretty sure these all range between 1974 and 1979. There's a bunch of like the special paperbacks and issues. And then we have the 2 paperback book sets, which seem like they're pretty hard to come by with the slipcover still intact. This one, the Insanely Mad collection, has sold in the past for over 60 bucks. I'm guessing both of them have to be at least 25, 30, 35, 40 bucks a piece. So very cool, definitely worth it. I have a blast looking through stuff like this, and I really enjoy getting stuff like this boarded and bagged and preserved for future generations. That is all I got for you this time. As always, I want to thank you so much for watching the video, but until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. Love ya. Bye. When they hear that cha-ching and they all look at me, I guess they'll know I'm buying this crap.